Hello everyone, it's Kavita from Red Door Yoga. Thank you for joining us again for our mini sutras. Today I wanted to chat a little bit about the instability and the vulnerability that exists in transitions. And what I'm talking about here goes for whether we're talking about a physical transition, an emotional or mental transition, our habits, etc. But basically, whenever we're moving from one structure to another structure, one way of being to another way of being, there is instability in that place, and there is therefore vulnerability in that place. This is the place where not only can we be moved out from a direction that we're trying to move in, but we can also be injured physically and otherwise. And so, to make this point really clear, I'd like to use the spine as an example. So some of you, or hopefully all of you, are aware that your spine has varying sections to it where the structure actually changes. So we have our cervical spine, so our C spine. Then we have a thoracic spine, which is where our ribs are, and that goes from T1 to T12. Then we have a lumbar spine, so L1 to L4-5, and then we have our sacrum, etc. So I do a lot of rehabilitation with students, and if a student comes to see me and they tell me that they have degenerated discs, even before that student tells me exactly where the degeneration is, I know that there's a very high possibility that that degeneration is somewhere between, let's say, C7 and T1, or T12 and L1, or L4-5 and S1, okay? Because I know that in those places, the structure changes, and as a result of that changeover, there is an instability. That is where the structure is likely to lose its footing, as it were, and therefore it's likely to wear and tear, eventually leading to degeneration in the discs that are there. Now, that doesn't mean it's always the place where the degeneration is. It's just usually the place where the degeneration is. There are other factors that can cause it to go into a more stable area of the spine. But with this, what I want you to think about is that when we are going to make a change, let's say it's a habit that we want to change, be it a mental habit, be it a relationship, way we relate to something that we want to change, a really common one being diet. If somebody wants to change their way of eating, and this is the way they eat right now, they would like to change their relationship with food and nutrition, then they're making a changeover from one way of eating to another way of eating. And in that little transition period there is an instability. There's a high likelihood of them falling back into their old pattern. There's a high likelihood of the system, their physical system, kind of lashing back a little bit on that change. There's a high likelihood of their relationships interacting in this change and convincing them out of the direction that they want to go. So, with this in mind, what I really want to talk about today is the fact that if you want to change something, if you want to change a structure, a habit, a way of being in your life, one of the things I highly suggest to you is to seek out support systems, things that will help to stabilize you as you're transitioning. Those support systems might be mentors that it may be friends and family that will hold you accountable to the direction that you've said that you want to go in. But you want to set support systems in place during your transition period. If we go back to the example of eating, after you've made that transition and you've been there in this new way of facing nutrition, etc., after you've been there for a few months, the need for the support system actually dissipates because this has become stable now. This is your way of being. But be mindful of these things and seek out appropriate support systems when you're transitioning. I hope that helps everyone. It is lovely having you all with us. Please do like the video. Please do share the video. We're always grateful when you share our videos because it helps to expand the community. Please do comment on the video, and we are always thrilled when you also ask questions because that helps us to know what you'd like from us, how we can serve you. Thanks again, and we'll look forward to seeing you again online. Namaste.